Next up, Sarah Anderson, the Global Economy Program Director at the Institute for Policy Studies. Sarah, what is your bigger, bolder, better idea?
All right. My big, bold idea is to tax the gap. And the gap that I'm talking about here is the gap between CEO and worker pay. Last year, U.S. publicly held corporations had to start reporting their gaps to the SEC, and the results were staggering. And I'm going to give you a few examples. This is Walmart. CEO there got paid 1,188 times as much as the median worker at his company. This is McDonald's. That's the CEO there with Chrissy Teigen holding her little bag of Big Macs, which I bet she eats every day. He made over 3,000 times median worker pay at McDonald's. This is Mattel. The Barbie CEO did very well last year, made nearly 5,000 times median worker pay at Mattel. So there's one place in the world that is already taxing these extreme pay gaps, and that is Portland, Oregon. And go Portland. First in the world, this is how it works. They have a local business profits tax. If you pay your CEO more than 100 times your median worker pay, you pay a 10% surtax on top of that. If you pay your CEO more than 250 times your median worker pay, you pay a 25% surtax. And it applies to companies that do business in the city, from Walmart to Wells Fargo. Right now there are Portland-style bills introduced in 7 states and in the U.S. Congress. And the debate in Portland on this was so fascinating. They needed 3 votes out of a 5-member council, and each of the people voted for it for a slightly different reason. And this gets at the coalition building potential here. The champion of the bill had read the Piketty book, and dang it, he was going to do something in Portland to address inequality that could be an example for other places. A second person wanted some revenue for a homeless initiative in the city. And the California bill that was just introduced this week in the California legislature would raise up to $3 billion a year. So you could raise substantial revenue. The third person, and this is quite interesting, I think, voted for it because he had worked at a very large and cooperatively owned engineering company. And he had seen firsthand how narrow pay gaps at his company had brought out the best in his colleagues. And so giving corporations the incentive to lift up the bottom of the pay scale while bringing down the top can be good, not just for reducing inequality, not just good for workers, but also good for business. It's time to tax the gap.